Alright, what's up? We're back with more of Avernum 3 Ruin World. Here we are now at the Portal Fortress. So it's time to do our explorations here. The tunnel looks like it was dug in extreme haste and then shored up with the rough stone wall. The air is still and icy cold. Nobody has been back here for some time. Portal emergency access route control. Class D protection required. Pressing button is bad idea. The box is sealed shut. A pedestal is next to it. The two are connected by wires. Ooh, wisdom crystal. Porter notes. Wait, what does the button do? At the end of the passage, you find several large metal boxes bolted to the southeast wall. They are well sealed, and the largest one has a stone pedestal next to it, featuring a large red button. It is labeled Class D magical protection required. You press the button. It's safe pushed in. There's no noise, no click, no hum, no nothing. Just total silence. You get a very fat feeling and start to move back up the corridor to the north. You walk at first and then run. You don't make it. The explosion blows 30 feet through 30 feet of rock, creating a new tunnel leading into the chamber with the portal. The blast also shatters every bone in your bodies and turns your flesh to liquid. Whatever magical protection you needed to save yourself, you didn't have it. At last, your quest to save the surface and win freedom for Avernum has come to a gruesome end. Your bones eventually lie in an anonymous crypt, alongside all the other victims of the war to come. Fortunately, there is still hope. There are still many scouts and spies in Avernum yearning to infiltrate the surface and win a new homeland. Any one of them could be the new savior of the underworld. Perhaps your next attempt will end in success. There is only one way to find out. Okay. Actually, wait, let's rewind there. That didn't happen. Yeah, why don't we leave the button alone? You back away from the button slowly. Nothing harms you. We do get some loot out of it. Wisdom crystal and some other stuff and books to read. You crack open the book and flip through it. The book contains instructions and notes for the operation of the teleporter in the portal fortress. The notes are complex enough to thoroughly boggle your mind. You gain nothing from reading them. Okay, duly noted. Okay, who is the lowest on XP right now? It looks like Zelena is lowest. You know what? Let's just go ahead and leave this button alone here, shall we? Probably safe bet. Ooh, we got some rats right here. On the stone lectern, you find a long, vellum scroll covered with neat, careful writing. Unfortunately, it is all gibberish. Not a single word of it has any meaning to you. Your plates are on this pedestal. Very strange. There is a heavy book on this pedestal. It's not magical. It looks more like a work of history, with large, colorful illustrations. Potentially interesting. On the Vonatai people. The Vonatai, pronounced Vonatai, are a very interesting race, only recently discovered and barely understood. They are friendly, however, and great allies to the people of Avernum. They are purely a people of the caves, living in tunnels far below Avernum. They live in ecologies maintained by magic. When they have used up the nutrients of their lands, They hibernate en masse for centuries while the land restores itself. Their magic is powerful and based on the use and shaping of crystals. Most amazingly, the souls of their most powerful and valued ancestors are brought back to life in the form of large blue crystals, called the Crystal Souls. It was because of these souls that we first discovered the Vonatai. The Empire learned of them before us and stole 3 of their crystal souls. A band of brave Avernum adventurers recovered the souls, proving our good intentions. In return, the Vonatai joined our side and helped turn the tide of the Empire War. They have fought beside us and are invaluable allies. On dragons. When Avernum was discovered, it contained strange and wondrous creatures in it. Most amazing of these were the dragons. Most dragons on the surface were killed by the Empire. 5 dragons lived in Avernum. They were siblings, children of a mated pair we know nothing of. Motrax was the oldest and the best friend to humankind. Alas, he died as a result of wounds suffered during the Empire War. Most powerful was Sulfurus. She was taken prisoner by the Empire during the Empire War. When Avernites rescued her, she slew many Empire soldiers, restored her horde, and disappeared. Her current location is unknown. Pyrog was an enemy to Avernum and had to be slain by humans not long before Hawthorne was assassinated. Atheron is a recluse by nature and hasn't been heard from it for years. Finally, Koth was known to have a huge appetite for learning in an awesome library. However, he had the ill fortune to be captured by the Empire and forced to aid them with his learning. After the Empire War, he was nowhere to be found. On the history of Avernum. The history of Avernum is long and complicated, but may still be easily summarized. It was discovered by Empire magicians several decades ago. A band of soldiers and great heroes was teleported down to explore this new, wondrous land. This first expedition was slaughtered to a man and woman. Later, the Empire had the idea of using Avernum as a dumping ground for undesirables. Misfits and magical creatures alike were sent through a one-way teleporter into Avernum. Among these were several powerful mages, all of whom were at the losing end of a political struggle. These were Solberg and Patrick, Roan and Linda, and most importantly, Erica. They imprisoned the demon Grahoth who ruled the caverns and formed a nation which they called Avernum as a constant reminder that this was not our true home. Erica, the most powerful of the mages, however, was not content. Her hatred of the Empire was absolute, and she masterminded a plan to assassinate Hawthorne, the brilliant and vicious ruler of the surface world. The result was bloody vengeance. Garzod, master archmage of the surface world, led an invasion force down into Avernum. The troops who teleported down waged the Empire War, a conflict that ravaged Avernum. Through the help of the Vonatai, however, we won the Empire War and slew the invaders. Our future is now uncertain, but with our new allies, perhaps we may stride boldly forward to a wondrous destiny. This room is filled with papers, journals, booklets, maps, schedules, inventories, and people manipulating, studying, reading, writing on, shredding, crying over, and generally dealing with these records. This must be where the fort's planning takes place. You try to engage the scribe in conversation, but he's hard at work. He points to the wizard in the corner. That's Kellner. You should talk to him. You meet a solemn and attentive mage in elegant clothes. Traces of gray are starting to appear in his hair. He walks up and formally greets you, surrounded by an aura of authority. Welcome back, adventurer. I am Kellner, Chief Administrator of the Portal Fortress. Can I help you? I found a strange scroll in the library. It's all gibberish. He looks it over, then he shrugs. Tell me about it. A lot of the works here don't make any sense. We mostly keep them around for the paper. I can't help you. What do you do here? He waves at his surroundings. As I said, I am the Chief Administrator. I coordinate all comings and goings for the Portal Fortress. It's sort of a promotion from my Tower of Magi post. Why do they call this the Portal Fortress? Because this fort houses passage through which Vernites come to the surface, and through which we can sometimes return. As you probably guessed, since he originally came up from the Tower of Magi to here. Do you like your job? It's a top job running this place with so many people coming up and so many supplies coming up to keep track of, and some people want to return to the underworld as well. But it beats being in the tower, so I can return to Avernum if I want to. Yes, sometimes people can return. You should speak with Selith. She's by the portal. She coordinates all of that. Why'd you leave the Tower of Magi? I spent most of my magical career there, first in training and then as administrator. I finally got transferred up here, much to my relief. Why were you so eager to leave? Once, years ago, a mage named Linda performed certain very dark experiments. I trained there at the time, and was able to help some adventurers purge the evil she brought. Later, when I was an administrator there, Linda returned, and I sensed that old habits were starting to return. So I pulled strings and came here. It was not a situation I wanted to deal with anymore. What sort of experiments was Linda involved in? You see, Linda, formerly of the Triad, was a master wizard. She brought a demon into the tower once, and only with great effort was it repelled. Never trusted her, never will. Kellner nods to you. I am busy, but I can make time for you. You are very important. Any other way I can help the surface explorer? What is the chief administrator? A fancy way of saying that I run the place, while all the pests in the military still get to boss me around. So would you consider me a pest? Sorry, I meant no disrespect. Plus, officially, you are not part of the military. You are part of Unspecified Services, a much subtler and less intrusive organization. Are you looking to hire an adventurer? He laughs. That takes me back. I remember a few years ago, some adventurers asked me that, and I had them wipe out some serpent cult. But now, even if I had something you could do, I wouldn't ask you. You are the surface explorers. Your time is too valuable to be spent running my errands. What happened to those adventurers? Their courage eventually gained them a fair amount of fame and wealth. They are still down in Avernum, still fighting our enemies. I can rest easier being up here, knowing they're down there, looking after things. That's all for now. Well, that's nice. Nice little callback as always. Still remember doing that quest in Avernum too. You meet a short, portly man with blonde hair, just visible under his cowl. His fingers are stained with ink, and a variety of pens protrude from his pockets. He holds a pen in his hand now, ringed with an unusual rainbow design. He looks up at you as you approach. Greetings, I am Walner, a sage and part-time alchemist. What is your job here in the fort? I am a sage. As soon as I heard about the surface portal, I came here to see what the fuss was about. Sages are always welcome wherever they go. People of learning and magic are needed up here more than anything. Soon I will emerge and study the surface. While I wait, I study in the library. What's the use of sitting around and learning? Knowledge is its own sort of power. Learning to deal with the new things we'll encounter and magic to defend ourselves from them. Soon I will be out on the surface, helping us to relearn what we need to survive up there. Are many Avernites interested in coming up here? As you can guess, almost everyone below wants to come up here. The chance to see the surface again is making people frantic. However, only so many can be brought up at a time. He grins. Of course, when getting a birth, it helps to have certain skills. What kind of skills does a sage have? Well, I try to know a little about everything. Also, I am an alchemist of some skill. Are you teaching any alchemy right now? I am not teaching, but I can put my skills in your service. For example, I can make brews which can heal the imbiber, or make him strong, or even double his speed. Tell me about the library. This library was set up as sort of a briefing area for mages arriving up here. To sort of summarize what we know and what we found. Clearly, not much so far. Be sure to look at the books. Some of them are sure to be interesting. The main challenge down here, of course, is finding more books. You need more books? Always. If you're out on the surface finding any magical research which seems interesting, I'll give you a very fair price for it. Oh, that reminds me, I found an odd scroll in the library. It didn't make any sense. Oh, that one. It's written in code. Some letters need to be substituted for other letters. I remember it. Here's how it works. He explains how to read the scroll. Walner takes the notes, examines them, and nods. Magical research. Avernum needs to catch up on the new techniques of the surface world. This could be quite useful. He gives you some coins. It's a very fair payment. Can you make a potion for me? It is one of my specialties. If you have forage any lichen or moss or fungi with the proper properties, you can show them to me. If they are fresh enough, I can make something for you. For example, if you brought me healing herbs in adequate quantities, I could make you healing or curing potions. Even better, with the right mix of herbs, I could make a brew to speed you up in combat and restore your magical energy. Very useful, much in demand. I don't need any potions. Alright, safe travels to you. What does that rainbow design on your pen mean? He holds up the rainbow pen. Oh, this? Call it a symbol of pride. I don't need anything else. Then good luck on the surface, explorer. We all envy you. That's definitely progressive writing for Jeff right there. I think that even goes far back as... Actually, yeah, I remember I've watched a walkthrough of Exile 3 Ruined World. So yeah, that dialogue is in there, and that was very progressive writing for Jeff to do in the first place, because Exile 3 Ruined World was released in the mid-90s, like 96, I think. So even for the time, that was pretty cool to see in a game. Fortunately, Walner told you how to decode it. It takes several hours, but it eventually makes sense of the scroll. Alright, got Call Beast now. Someone has placed a steel box in the middle of magic circle to the west. The box is etched with lines of strange symbols. Some of them glow. The room feels unusually warm. There is a lever next to you. You wonder if it has something to do with the box. Alright. See counter for instruction. There is a strange platform in a room nearby. What is it? It's very interesting. We're doing research to figure out how to easily place enchantments on items. Fascinating stuff. Vonatine magic, but what isn't? You place something you wield or wear, like armor or a blade, into the box in the middle of the circle. Then you pull the lever and your item will be filled with energy. Feel free to use it. You're important enough, but choose carefully. The machine is only charged up enough for one use. Any advice on how to use it? Only put one item into a box at a time. If you try to bless more than one item at once, the results can be unpredictable. Also, only put something in there if you're sure you want it blessed. The device will make a sword more dangerous. Its effect on, say, a shovel can be less satisfying. Okay, let's go ahead and give a buff to Rex's Light of Fire Spear here. Okay, so got a blessing for that. So Sarakai Dawn. You crack open the book and flip through it. Dawn of the Sarakai. Little is known of these demon creatures of the underworld. They were first discovered by the criminal vermin sent down to Avernum, where they were beaten into submission. For now. What is known is that they are vicious and cannibalistic, barely capable of language or reason. All the Empire should do anything they can to watch for these demon beasts and make sure none of them ever set foot on our beautiful surface. Several comfortable beds. A young female mage sits at her cable desk, reading a scroll. She looks irritated by your intrusion. I'm Denise. Leave me alone. Sorry to intrude. What do you do here? Look, what do I have to say or do to get some studying time alone? As if I didn't already have enough problems. What are you studying? What's it to you? You don't think everyone gains magical abilities by killing monsters, do you? I just asked an innocent question. You don't have to insult me. Some of us don't want to go around butchering poor creatures all the time. We get our skill through good, honest work. So buzz off. Perhaps I can help. She slams her book shut in anger. However, this time she doesn't seem angry at you. I left an amulet down in the Tower of Magi, a valuable focusing aid. They rushed me along to come up here, and I forgot it. Now that bureaucrat Celis won't let me retrieve it, and I can't go on to my post without it. I take it you don't like this Celis person. I hope she gets an infection. A special sort of infection. He gives you an unnerving smile. I'm bound to go to the Tower Magi sooner or later. I'll find your amulet. She perks up. Can you really get to the tower? If you can bring me back my amulet from the Tower Magi, I'll make it worth your while. What post are you heading for? Look, I'm unspecified services, like you. I can't talk about it. Come to think of it, I probably shouldn't talk to you. You meet a very tall, dignified woman. Her face and short, dark hair are starting to bear the signs of middle age. She is grinding up some herbs and roots. She stands to greet you. I am Carol, a healer of the Hammer clan. Do you require my assistance? How do you serve this fort? She indicates the herbs and poultices that surround her. I am a healer brought near the surface to exert my skills. Are you glad to be here? My husband and I were brought up to serve here. The work is hard, but satisfying. I am only a little disappointed. Who's your husband? My husband, Tor, looks after the supplies. She smiles. It's what he does best. Why are you disappointed? She sighs. I did so want to see the surface not be cooped up in yet another cave. Oh well, I believe if I'm patient, I may yet emerge above ground. Carol smiles and works on preparing a fresh, aromatic poultice. She waits to see if you have anything else to say. Is there much call for your healing skills? Not yet. I was brought here to heal the soldiers who may be hurt in upcoming battles. We all hope such battles may be averted, of course, but, well, it's best to be prepared. How would you suggest I prepare? A fair question. If you would like, I can teach you some first aid skills. If only more warriors would take time to learn a few basic principles, many lives would be saved. Are you interested? Yes, that would be useful. Indeed. Okay, I would buy another one. Although I do want to have money for spells when I get to the Tower Magi, though. But so far, I have at least 4 total among my whole party. So that would be helpful. You meet a small, heavily muscled man with dark skin and a quick eye. He wears dark clothes, a black hood, and a wicked sword. He bows sharply. I gladly greet you, explorer. I'm Julio. Traveler. Your job is what exactly? I'm an explorer. I make maps, that sort of thing. Where have you explored? I traveled from one end of Avernum to the other, looking for a route to the surface. I swore an oath, you see. What was your oath? A sacred one. I promised I'd never rest until I saw the light of day again. Good, honest sunlight. And it looks like I'll finally get the chance, even if I have to sneak out through fort emergence to do it. Why are you thinking of sneaking out? They aren't letting anyone out until they know it's safe, they say. Well, hell with that. I've been in prison down here for long enough. If I die, fine, I can deal with that. But damn it, I'll die in the sun. I remain at your service, Surface Explorer. How else may I assist you? What kinds of maps have you made? You probably have one of my maps. I'm the one who mapped out these caves up here. I also made the only map we have the area above. We haven't ever even been up there, but we have a map. Bet you're wondering how we did that. How can you map a region you've never seen? Magic. A mage managed to give me a split-second magical view of the land above Fort Emergence. From way, way up. From that, I made the map. Pretty amazing, huh? It is a remarkable feat. Yes, indeed. I drew a whole map from a tiny glance. Excellent work, if I do say so myself. Can I get one of these remarkable maps? He looks suspicious. You're unspecified services, right? Any maps you're authorized to get, you can get from an Axemander back in Fort Emergence. I wouldn't know what information I'm allowed to give you. Well, I hope he succeeds in his quest eventually to get back to the surface. There are 4 huge crystal pillars here. They look nearly identical to the 2 magical crystals which power the portal to the southwest. Each of these 4, however, has a large crack or flaw. They must be the failed efforts to make a power crystal. They're very heavy things. That must be why they're still here. You meet an archer of Avernum, polishing a 5 cave wood bow with practiced fingers. His armor bears captain's insignia, and his face bears the expression of one who'd rather be anywhere else. He nods brusquely. Captain Jake, ready for battle? I'll need to be. When the Empire finds out where Fort Emergence is hidden, and they will, we'll all have to fight. Are you passing through or stationed here? He seems irritated at the interruption. I'm going to Fort Emergence. Fort Emergence isn't far. Why are you going there? There to serve again under old dear Commander Johnson. What do you think of Commander Johnson? He looks to make sure nobody is listening. Well, I can tell you, because your unspecified services won't count for spit in the end. I've served under that vile old bastard before in Fort Govno. He's vicious and cruel from his hair to his toes. I've been working for Captain Johnson. Going out to hunt and kill, no doubt. It's his only way. Where's Fort Govno? Little town in Avernum. What does it matter? What do you have against our department? Mark my words. They can make all the pretty words they want about our meeting the Empire and talking to them and coexisting on the surface, or whatever. But Johnson is in charge at the fort, and the fort is where all the big decisions will be made. Remember that? Remember that. This will all end in blood. Lots of it. With that, he turns away. You meet an aging, worn-down veteran of Avernum. He patrols ceaselessly through the fort, appraising the supplies, soldiers, walls, and everything else with a long, practiced eye. He extends a calloused hand to you. Call me Tor. Why are you wandering around? I have to keep an eye on every weapon and bit of provender which passes through here. Supplies are my life. I see. So you are in charge of managing all the supplies? He grins proudly. Yep, farmed for a while, but looking after goods is something I've always had a knack for. What was farming like? Tough work. Disease, salamanders, Nephilim, more salamanders, just for a few mushrooms. Major pain. Sold the farm to the field hands and left it at that. So this is your calling then? Well, not sure about quartermaster being a calling. You're too young to remember, but once I gave supplies to every single person who entered Avernum. They teleported down, and I gave them a knife and some food to get them by until they found work. It was good work, and this is good work too. Really appropriate, I mean. I don't get it. Appropriate in what way? Well, once I gave supplies to everyone who came down from the surface. Now I take care of the goods for everyone coming up. Symmetry, you know? Or scratches his back wearily. You still need to talk to me? No offense, but that sounds a bit boring. Suppose to the uninformed. Anyway, supplies are half of my life. Carol's the other half. Who's Carol? My wife. She's a healer and a fine one at that. She's up here with me. If she wasn't, well, I wouldn't be here neither. I like to do some shopping. I love to help, but none of it is mine to sell. I just send it all to where the army tells me to. You're better off going to the towns to the north to get supplies of your own. Again, this is also another callback, because Tor was the first, one of the first people we ever encountered when we started my Let's Play series here. The first game of Avernum Escape from the Pit, because he gave my first scoop supplies and all this other stuff. And then later in the second game, like he said, he owned that farm, where we had our second group take care of salamanders for him. So it is pretty cool with all these callbacks you'll see. New day dawns. Evermoon 22, day 9. In the center of this cavern, you see the portal through which you arrived in Upper Avernum. 10 feet high, glows with intense energy, And even at this distance, makes your skin tingle. A mage with a journal stands in front of it. It was frightening to go through it the first time. You don't feel too enthusiastic about being near it again. It's constantly shifting surface bathes everything around it in a sickly blue light. Several buckets of water have been placed here for safety reasons. Apparently, if the portal explodes, destroying all Upper Avernum, someone will first throw a gallon of water onto it. Yeah, like that's really gonna help, right? Gee, you all really thought that through. I don't know why that makes me laugh so much, but it just does. The small laboratory is well lit with torches. It's very quiet and dusty. Not much gets done here now. The chisels, hammers, and other tools indicate what these chambers were used for. This is the crystal shaping chamber. Humans borrowed many magical techniques from the Vanatai, all of them involving various sorts of crystals. The portal to the west is powered by a pair of huge magical crystals made here with Vanatai aid. An invisible force holds the crystal upright and perfectly still on this platform. The magic must hold the stone ready for precise cutting. The small chamber is probably being used to store crystals. You smell unwashed beasts and hear soft, raspy breathing. A guard has been left behind. Okay, let's load an autosave here. Nothing like taking a bunch of crystals here, though. Okay, these ones are a little bit better for us to take on. Feels like. Well, dang, she took a lot of damage from that. Okay, well, at least we got another level up. I'm not going to worry about those guardian hellhounds, so. Alright, we don't need to level up pole weapons anymore, so I'm going to. That's this and this. Strength. Robust health. Alright, we're not going to worry about parry for her, but we're going to do this. Okay, we already have ambidextrous. Ooh. Strength and robust health. intelligence. You meet the technician in charge of operating the portal. It's an incredibly difficult and stressful job, and it has taken its toll. The moment he sees you, he says, "What are you doing up here? No adventurers up here. Get away. You'll destroy everything. You'll kill us all." There are a host of buttons and control rooms on this pedestal. They must control the portal below. Perhaps with your cunning and magical experience, you might be able to figure out how to operate them. No. We already learned why that's a bad idea. With that other button over there. We already read this book, so. Okay, those two are just portal technicians. A neatly dressed mage stands between you and the intense loop of energy that is the surface portal. She holds a thick notebook. The energy of the portal makes her hair stand almost straight up. "Welcome back, adventurer. I am Celis, overseer of the portal. Please be careful and don't use the portal without my direction." What are you responsible for? My title is Portal Overseer. I look after the portal, watch out for power surges, and direct those arriving from Avernum. Also, when someone wants to use the portal, it is I they must give their request to, and I who give permission. Is your job difficult? It's a tricky job. So many want to use the portal for so many reasons. What exactly is so tricky? The portal takes a lot of energy and can only send so many people in supply crates in a day. Most of its energy goes to bringing up as many people as possible. Access for other purposes, most of which are generally deemed frivolous, is limited. That is why anyone who wishes to use the portal must request permission from me. What would you consider a frivolous request? Visiting friends and family, retrieving something you forgot, that sort of thing. Portal energy is just too limited to spend on non-vital things. The Celis watches you, seemingly oblivious to the powerful torrents of energy crackling around her. Do you have some business with the portal? Whatever all these supplies, food, weaponry, and so forth, all sent up from Avernum. We can't send out raiders onto the surface to look for goods, for fear of the Empire detecting us. Alas, we must bring most of our equipment up from below. Even the terrible food and ale? Celis sighs. Even the terrible food and ale. Can I use the portal? She checks her journal. It says here that you are authorized to go down below and receive magical instruction. Go ahead and use the portal when you want, but please don't overuse your privileges. Okay. Go ahead and go in then. You stand before this powerful portal. It's not that large, but two massive crystals made with monotone magic focus huge amounts of energy into it. It is powerful enough to take you across or far under the world, if that is what you want. You start to walk into the portal. You feel resistance as you approach. Waves of heat and force try to throw you back. You push harder, moving slowly and carefully into the glowing pillar of energy. Soon, everything goes black, then yellow, then orange, then green, then colors you don't have words for. Then you find yourself elsewhere. Okay, so here we are at the Tower of Magi now. So, with that in mind, probably should. I wish I still had a group heal scroll I could use. I also need to put that away somewhere. I don't need the slime map anymore. Okay, whatever. You know what? Let's just go ahead and heal up anyway. Why the heck not? Okay, well, with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and save the game right here. But I will see you all next time. In the next part, we will explore the Tower of Magi.